Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. I want to take this moment and think about peace. Many of us, as Americans, have never gone to a war zone. We've never seen bombs dropped except on television, and we know that's all make believe. But what would it be like to our psychic if we ever, not necessarily be there, but saw something that was real? I'd like to suggest that you go to your YouTube channel and look up Beirut Blast, the explosion that stole a nation's hope. I happened to turn to that this morning, stopped on it, and I was checking it out. And we got a chance to see a blast that had to do not with war, I hear, but had to do with some storage or some chemical facility. It's something similar to it, and not being treated proper as it should, and so it occurred. This great blast, negligence. So you got a chance to see a view from various cameras that were stationed in different places to show how it affected the community. And I'd like to share that with you. And the reason that I want to share it with you, ladies and gentlemen, is because today there's a power called Russia and Putin that are threatening to start bombing another nation, another country, just bombing, blasting, doing the same damage to these people who are not asking for it, that happened to these other people in Lebanon. And I ask us, how is it that we can watch this stuff and allow this to happen to other people? What would we want if that was happening to us? Wouldn't it be a gift from God? Wouldn't it be a miracle for someone to step in and protect us from the danger that threatens us, from those that care nothing about us? Wouldn't it be just absolutely a miracle? It's like putting mud on eyes so that they can be opened and the person can see. It's like causing left limbs to give back strength and health and allow you to walk again. It's almost like being dead and being told to rise. For someone to do something like this, to protect people who are going through this kind of stuff. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about bombs. I'm thinking about kids. I'm thinking about families who want to go to school, or families who are trying to go to have some type of economy. I'm thinking about people who are just trying to live and somebody else want to boss them. Straight up from the pit of hell as far as I'm concerned. And how could we allow that, who say we're above that, to happen? Let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen. Not too long ago, there was a murder in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A young man by the name of George Floyd. The guy, the cop that was found guilty for this murder was sentenced to do time. And they don't think he'll be released before the time is complete, but we don't know. At least he's been identified. He's been judged. Let me ask you something. Why is it that you can arrest this one man for causing this one death and allow some other men to cause millions and millions of deaths? They said, how many deaths did Hitler cause? How many deaths did Mussolini cause? How many deaths did Stalin or Lenin? How many deaths did Pol Pot? How many deaths did Duvalier? How many deaths do all of these killers cause? And let me ask you something. Having caused all of these deaths, how do they stop? Have any of them just stopped? Any of them just changed? No, there was an action that took place that stopped them. And it was something that stopped them. They didn't stop. It stopped them. So I'm just wondering, this man can kill one guy and you got him in prison. And this man can kill millions of people and keep on killing them and is allowed to do it. And there seems to be only one way to stop them. And yet they're only stopped after they've killed so many million. I'm asking, something seems to be wrong with that. It just doesn't seem like through some sense of normality, something that's natural, that could happen. It almost appears that in order for something like that to happen, it has to be staged, it has to be planned, it has to be a part of something, maybe a conspiracy, I don't know, but it has to be something. It just couldn't just happen. I mean, you couldn't kill 6 million Jews and still walk around. I mean, it looked like a Jew would do something. It just seems like somewhere down the line, somebody would say no. But anyway, my real concern was having these thoughts, these things going through our mind. Wouldn't it be wonderful if even in the snowy towns of Woodbury, city of Woodbury here in Minnesota, it's a snowy day, it's kind of cold outside, really, really cold. It was just kind of nice yesterday. And rather than worrying if your neighbors or your extended family is going to be driving on these highways, will they be slick? Wouldn't it be nice to know that you had sensors there, in places there that where the weather is known to be kind of rough? You know, we had time to prepare to make sure that in those rough times, we as human beings who represent the power of the Almighty have come to know how to conquer that. The same way we would know how to conquer cancer and MS and all of the sicknesses and diseases if we were concerned about our own health, if we were concerned about the health of others. And we were doing it just so we can master sicknesses and disease rather than doing it for money. Because money we don't need. We don't need money to buy food or anything like that, because food is made to be distributed and made available to everybody at all times whenever they need it. Whatever is made manifest. We don't do it for clothes because the same thing happens. We don't do it for houses because the same thing happens. We don't do it for automobiles because the same thing happens. These cars and homes and stuff are made so that people can enjoy the greatness of God. Not for money. Not for somebody to use money to, let's just put that aside. That's sickness just to think of it, especially when you're thinking about the children now don't have to be kidnapped. You don't have to be abusing them because people are free to live their lives. No one need any protections because people now can protect themselves, because life is wonderful. Why is it wonderful? Because we, the people, decided to make a change. We were tired of the lying and the cheating and the stealing and the hating and the racism and the bigotry, and all in the efforts or pursuit of money to do what we don't need money to do, which we were given to do in the process of life. So my speaking to you constantly, ladies and gentlemen, is like this. I know it's hard because we have been adapted to the way of life. It's nothing new to us. We've been doing it all our lives. People before us did it. And change costs so much. It's money again. You can't tell it because they won't allow you to tell it unless you're paying. You got to pay. You got to pay. To breathe, you got to pay. But I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't have to. If we just stop listening to the one that's tricking us, the one that's lying to us, if we stop believing that there is something that's bigger than dying. See, well, I'm not going to go there. I just want you to perceive the possibility that you can really live and you don't have to be worried about being raped. You can really live. You don't have to be worried about being hijacked. You can really, really live, and you don't have to worry about anybody trying to take anything from you. You can really, really live And you can understand that God, when it comes down to God, what it means, what it truly means, and you can be appreciative. Well, I just thought that when you see all of these people going through these changes with this bomb in Beirut, they were just sitting around chilling. And somebody's negligence allowed something to happen that you would normally think would have covered a block, but to cover almost a whole city. Wow. And watch the people's lives, ooh, hospitals and everything. Can you imagine just go boom? And this is what war does. And this is what happens in the name of humanity. Every war is done in the name of humanity. When war is going on any place in the world, other worlds look down and say, well, this is humanity. This is how humanity operates. These are humans. This is what they do. That's what they say about us. This is us murdering, lying, cheating. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, I want a different life. What about you? What about you? I mean, really, what would you give? Would you give of your time? Will you give of yourself? Think about it.